Chris Anthony here, Uncloaked Illusions, and I wanted to share a particular story that happened at work. I guess this will go in the files dealing with the fuckery that occurs at work. And it's about personal choice, it's about accountability. A young man and I were speaking about my dialect, why I speak the way I speak. I do not sound, according to him, as if I am from New Orleans, especially the Lower Ninth Ward. And in many instances, I don't even have a rebuttal for it because I don't know how to answer such a claim. I don't know how one should sound when you're from certain parts of the city or certain districts. But I suppose I'm supposed to speak a certain way. I'm supposed to act a certain way. I'm supposed to enunciate things a certain way. And because I don't fit that criteria, one would naturally assume that maybe I'm from another part of the country. And I actually appreciate that, because if I had to judge based off of the dialect that I engage in with people here, mostly of my own race, then I am proud to have someone assume that I'm from another part of the country where they actually use correct dialect and proper grammar and they speak appropriately. And I gave him a short story of the fact that I got to experience two sides of the sword, pretty much. My mother's side of the family being the Baptist, the Christian, even the atheist, who showed the tough love, who had absolutely no values when it came to education, when it came to the presentation that one would, emit in the culture, in the society. And the imagery that they encouraged was primarily Jordans and baggy clothing and even at some point I remember my mother trying to encourage me to get golds in my mouth and tattoos even, and I refused to, because somehow my father's side of the family, their shaping of the way a conservative person should carry themselves, it reigned supreme. And I also have, as I've mentioned, had my father's side of the family who was conservative, compassionate, very, very vehement about educating yourself and getting that education. And I elevated towards that particular upbringing. So I've had both sides of that coin, or that sword, as one would say. And at the end of the day, I made a choice. I made the choice based on what I felt was appropriate, was the way that I wanted to live, the way I wanted to conduct myself. So when people give you this rhetoric that you're a product of your environment, well, I was introduced to two completely opposite environments, and I had a choice that was ultimately made at the end of the day. What I deemed to be worthy of trying to implement in my own life, and allowing it to be the premise of what I wanted to become, or the fuckery, the ignorance on the other end. So when people try to give you this rhetoric or this excuse that you're a product of your environment, that is total and utter bullshit, because at the end of the day, you have a choice. It's your choice. You can choose to go along with the crowd to get along, or you can choose to stand out. And believe me, it's not the easiest thing being the black sheep, being the nemesis seemingly of certain family members. You know, it can be difficult sometimes, but it is what it is. Chris Anthony, like, subscribe, share your comments, even share your stories if you have been dealt primarily the same hand and you made a choice and you're comfortable with the choice that you've made. You feel no regret, because I certainly do not. And I'm out.